He seems to think that you guys are, trash talking him. Do you think that that's a fair assessment?
No, you make this
Listen to me.
excuse forever, but
Shut your mouth and let me talk to you for a minute.
No.
I think he's trying to find fault because he's not liking things that are happening in his life. So I think he's trying to find fault with other people.
First and foremost, thank you so much for joining me. Sister Wives' very own Kody Brown and Janelle Brown in the building. How are you?
So good. Thank you so much for having us. Doing so great. Loving it.
We just appreciate you all being so open, and you've really been more open this season about the relationships between the five of you. I know you guys have talked about really getting along with Mary and how Robyn changed the dynamic as well. So why be open about all of that now?
I feel like everything's a progression, right? Everything changes. I feel like we were open with everything, but when I had a mental thing click where I realized, you know what, I actually don't feel like everything is okay right now, how it is right now. And then it changed. I would say I wasn't open before. I'd say open, but more it's like everything's just changed so much that, and then almost since I've left too, I'm stepping away from it. And that's created a different paradigm. So I think that's changed too. And so it's just been just a different perspective kind of a thing.
You mentioned this change. I love that you said that, because that leads me to my next question about these fan theories. There are so many theories that fans have. They're like, okay, I think I know what the change was in these relationships. What would you want them to know about this change?
I didn't realize anything was wrong until I knew something was wrong. And then I was like, oh, well, then I'm going to do something different now. So it's like, I thought that we were okay. I thought our family was okay. I thought things were okay until I realized that, like, it just wasn't the relationship that I was looking for my kids, and it wasn't a relationship I was looking for myself. And then I was like, okay, well, now that I found that, I'm going to move on, and I'm going to go, and I'm not going to stay anymore. So for me, it was an instantaneous, but I didn't know anything, and I thought I was going to stay until like Isabel's surgery was like done. And then that really was, and then we had like a big, huge conversation and just done. Yeah.
I think for me, it was really just that Kody and I really had been growing apart for a lot of years. I mean, like I feel like we had a really great run. I feel like the family, I mean, it was, but we just had kind of started to grow apart. And when he became estranged from my children, it was kind of like, I'm like, oh, okay, I think maybe I could actually do something different here, because look, I would have stayed, right? If the kids were okay. We've said that. If the kids had been okay, we would have stayed. And I mean, I'm glad that I'm in the place I am now, but I think for me, it was more just a progression of a relationship, which I never imagined would happen for me. I thought we would be married forever, but
I know, right? Yeah. When you know it's not working anymore, then you need to change it, because your life is your life and you are the one who dictates what you do. If it doesn't work, then change it.
But I also am an advocate for sticking around and trying to make a relationship work, right? I feel like every relationship ebbs and flows. And I think we really had just hit a point where it wasn't coming back. Like we've had several times in our marriage that it would leave and come back and leave and come back. And I think that's a normal relationship. But we really had hit a very different point now where we were just so very opposite different.
What's your response to Kody's claim that your relationship was previously antagonistic? And do you think that he tried to pit you guys against each other?
Yeah, she and I. There were times we didn't get along.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. We're just like sisters. You know how you have your sisters?
It is a lot like sisters.
So you don't get along with sometimes. You're like, ooh, I don't like, you break their stuff and things like that. I never broke. Well, I did on accident. I'm sorry. I was very innocent. I would say we went through times where we didn't get along very well. And there were times that we did. And now we get along better than ever.
Well, you've removed some of the biggest friction points, right?
It's like 180 pounds that we dropped.
Yeah. Amazing.
We're just going to keep being sister wives, and we're going to raise our kids together.
There's so much in my life that, like 30 years, right, that Christine's been privy to, that we've shared these experiences. Like nobody has had some of the experiences with me that I've had with Christine. We could list off 25 things right now, but like good and bad that we've done together. So like it's kind of like it's like my sister. I've had as much history with her as I've had with my own sister.
Same. So. She knows I'm allergic to a lot of mascara, and she really helped. She's like, "Ooh, I don't think that's a good idea. Are you sure you want to do that?" I'm like,
He seems to think that you guys are, trash talking him. Do you think that that's a fair assessment? What is your relationship with him now? Like, what do you think? Do you think that that's fair?
No, I think he's trying to find fault because he's not liking things that are happening in his life. So I think he's trying to find fault with other people. His relationship with his kids is his responsibility.
I do. I feel like that's the case. And
that's it. He needs to fix it.
Yeah. I can observe that Kody seems to have trouble relating to his older children. And now, because they question it a little bit, I think it might be harder for Kody to feel like he's respected.
Since I last talked to Dad, I bought a house, I got into school, and I got the car that I wanted, that he told me I should never get.
And he doesn't know anything?
No, doesn't care to.
I've reached out to Garrison and Gabriel. I reached out to them just before Christmas, and I reached out to them after. No, they're blocking me.
I feel bad that he feels like that, but it does feel like he's trying to find a reason, trying to find a reason.
And I tell you, it's just not true. We actually would love Kody to have a great relationship with all of his children. And I do whatever I can to facilitate that. When I find out that he's coming into town 3 hours before he gets there, I cancel all the plans and I make sure Truly can spend time with her dad.
Wow.
Just do it.
So the relationship looking forward, it's a progressive one. It's positive. You just want to make sure there's a copacetic relationship with him and his children.
I hope so. Like, I do hope that eventually time heals, right? Time heals.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that over time he can find a relationship with the children that he's estranged from now.
I hope so.
And I just hope that there is a peace. There's a place that we get where we're all peaceful. Look, I'm good. We still have things that we have to do when we're all family, and we have to get together for the sake of the kids, and we're all friendly. It's not like,
no, we're going to be fine in the same space. I really hope for peace for him, though, and certainly to have a great relationship with all his kids. That'd be awesome.
Same thing goes for Robyn and her kids.
Yeah, I really do.
Sure.
I do miss having Robyn's kids around, and I do hope that resolves itself someday.
Yeah, for sure.
What's your response to Kody saying that he was willing to continue to fake his relationship with Mary, even though he hated it?
I am willing to fake being in love with Mary, doing my duties as a husband, sort of putting up with things that frustrate me so deeply that I struggle to be around her.
Why is he saying that he's willing to keep acting when he clearly hasn't been for 8 or 10 years? And also, I wouldn't want him to do that. I've wanted to heal our relationship and even create a new relationship, but I've never insisted on it.
I just think that's a shame. I'm glad that at the end he did the honorable thing, because that's unfair. That's extremely unfair to anybody.
It was ridiculous.
To him, to Mary, to me, to you, anybody,
I think the most important thing in a relationship is honesty. And I think if you're not being honest, you have no business being in a relationship with that person. You got to be honest, and please don't fake anything. Don't fake anything. I would rather have the truth.
Even though it's painful, I think
Truth
sometimes
is fine,
I think that's the best course of action, just to be fair, to be honest.
Yeah, when finally he said like he wasn't attracted to me, it was over. I'm like, thank you. God, that's good to know. Perfect.
I want to ask you all about Robyn coming into the family, affecting your relationships. And I want to know, did you all get along in the beginning, or was it a struggle from the start?
At the start, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, we really did have a good time. And, and honestly, what you see in the very beginning of the show really was what was happening. For us. We were having a good time. There was a lot of bumps with trying to put the two families together, but we really did work hard to make the reality of what we were showing really was who we were.
Yeah, no, I think in the beginning we had this big, huge, awesome family, and I was super excited to show it to Robyn, and this is what we have now. And so I was so excited to let's have her see. I thought that what we had was super, super cool and so excited. And then, I mean, like with all relationships, I just figured that newlywed phase that Kody and Robyn had would fade and go away, but it never really did. He just wanted to stay there, which I get it now. I think he just found his soulmate and his true love. But even then, even when I saw that he really loved her, it didn't really matter, because what we had as a family was so cool. And everybody working together and doing things together. It was so cool. And I didn't, it is so funny. Someone even asked me, they're like, why didn't you leave way before? And I'm like, I never wanted to. I left when I wanted to, and it was what we had was so cool, and it was so awesome. And when they have this big, huge family, God, can you imagine our holidays were so cool? It was so fun. It was the 4 days of feasting for Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
everywhere.
And it was legit.
Yeah.
It was incredible. And now things are like, mine's big again because I've married David and there's like, 14 kids and all of that. And so and then Janelle's kids and it's just bigger again. And I just kind of like it like that.
Do you know, I think for me, when Robyn came, it was great. I mean, I still had a good relationship with Kody. I was still able to communicate to him what I needed and he would give that to me. And like, I felt like we had a great relationship, but I think just, again, for me, it was just all of a sudden things started to really change and I could see more and more that it was easier for him to be at Robyn's. And I'm like, I think it's good. I think it's time. So
you can go ahead and go to Robyn's then. That's just,
it was for us, I think it was just a change in the relationship.
Why do you think she was so upset about you all like leaving the family?
What I really want to do is yell. What I really want to do is scream. What I really want to do is just say, no, please don't do this.
I don't know. Actually, because
I don't understand it either. Because I'm like, wouldn't you think it would be easier with us gone?
Yeah.
She seems so angry and frustrated and so sad about it. And I don't know. I mean, I think that she had this ideal in mind of what a plural family should look like, but ours didn't. When you got a guy who favors one wife, it's going to not look like a plural family. And it just didn't. So I don't know why she's taking it so hard.
I don't know. I think that would have to be a question for her to explain, probably. Yeah. That was what I mourned the most, I think, when Kody and I finally decided, or when I finally said, I'm done here. I mourned the ideal more than I relayed the relationship. The relationship for me had become pretty apathetic, but I mourned the ideal, what we worked for all those years, like the one family and kids as siblings. And we've accomplished that, I realized.
Yeah, we have.
We've actually done that.
Kids together.
I kind of mourned the dream. And maybe that's what she's doing. I have no idea.
Maybe what you're seeing is what I've already been through and felt and dealt with. Because as things were falling apart, I think they started falling apart before COVID. When things started falling apart, I was grieving then. And I was sad then. And maybe you're just seeing, and I'm super grateful she's being real and she's being honest, and seeing honesty is awesome. So I'm grateful she's showing that and giving her space to grieve.
Yeah,
sure.
That's actually really smart. I think that's a good perspective. You probably
went through your grieving. I did. I went through some grieving when I saw that we weren't going to be doing family things anymore. And I think that's just what you see with her right now.
Janelle, you also mentioned talking about how you wish there could be legal marriages in polygamy so that everything.
I'm sorry. I think yeah.
Oh, right. That was a mind-blowing thing. I'm like,
honestly, what is everybody like before we were on the scene? Like it was the train wrecks making the news. Like the women were disenfranchised. They were being assigned marriages. I'm sorry. The easiest way to solve that is to give a woman claim to your legal assets or your estates. And I'm like, look, you know what? There are so many women out there that are baby mamas or they're whatever. And I'm like, they have no claim on their husband's estate.
You give this woman claim and he's going to trade her to that
empower the women. And I
know. Isn't that the best thing ever? When I tell you Janelle's one of the strongest women that I know, it's because she thinks like this. I never would have thought. I'm like, you know what?
Oh no, like
you're fine.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, it would be much easier for me to leave at this situation and get like some of the, I just think it should be a thing.
The sticky financial situation, how did it factor into your decision to leave or stay with Kody? And did it?
I was going to leave because like I still, and this is what people don't get, they get sort of confused. Like I still work, I still make money, I still have a job, all those things. What was tied up for me was the long-term assets. And you kept the house and you were able, but I had nothing. So
it's too hard.
Yeah, I'm still working on that piece. So TBD.
I think it takes, you've got to figure it out before you can leave. There's certain things I knew that I needed to do financially before I could leave. And so I got that done. And you've got to take care of stuff and you have to have a secure financial plan if you're going to leave. And so it took me a few years to make that solid financial plan.
If you could go back and do everything again, what would you change?
Wouldn't change it.
I would probably have more assets in my name.
Dude. Okay. There.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put any, I would have had separate, more individuality.
Yeah,
I would have
I
had
think-
more individuality.
Yeah, I think that.
There you go.
I
You're right.
think
You know what?
I would have probably, and like, and
There we
anyway,
go.
Actual legal part of all of it.
and I think just any woman who's listening, take care of yourself, because he could die, he could leave, whatever. Like, you better make
He
sure.
can find the love of his life. I'm just saying.
Yep, you got to just make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Fans want to know, what's your financial situation now?
We both work. We work like crazy, but we just won a cruise that we went on together, but it was a lot of freaking hard work.
And I'm getting ready to launch a business that I've been thinking about and dreamed about for many, many years. So stay tuned. That's coming. So
Christine, this one's for you. What do you hope for Janelle?
I hope that she continues being the strong, independent person that she is. She's the strongest person that I know. She's super, super independent and always been an amazing example of independence.
Oh.
And she's just has a full life. And I want to see her continue having her full life that she's been living.
Janelle, what is it like seeing Christine get this second chance at love?
I thought it was so interesting because we both have kind of ended up where we always wanted to be, right? Christine's gotten her dream. Like, and David is amazing. The kids love him. The longer you hang out with him, like the more you hang out with him, the more you like him. I mean, it's just, yeah. And like, they keep having all these adventures and I get to tag along as a third wheel, but it's not awkward third wheel.
Yeah,
like,
not awkward third wheel.
It's so easy. So like, I wanted to keep having these adventures, and it is really good for me to see that, I am not interested in dating. I'm not looking. I'm just not, no. And I really am pursuing some of these other things I'm doing, but someday down the road, it could be a ruler, right? Like, it's something that I would measure a relationship against.
It's really fun. It was like, it was fun. It's been fun.
We are just wishing this beautiful big family that we knew and loved from the show all the best to you both. Thank you for taking out the time. And I could be a fly on the wall at you guys' this week at Thanksgiving. I could just imagine the conversations in the room.
We have
so much fun.
We have we
have an amazing family, amazing kids.
We're super blessed.
We'll start cooking. I know you got a lot of mouths to feed.
Oh,
Thank you again, and have a great rest of your day. Okay.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.